Good evening. Everyday KT number 55. And we're talking about rules. And as you know, not a big fan. But, we're talking about a very sensitive subject here, so might as well grab the bull by the horns, as it were, and have a little discussion about what you actually want to wear under your kilt and any rules that might be attached to how to wear undergarments, as it were. So this is one of those kind of discussions. So actually, before we get going, somebody throw up a Kiltology. We'll just get that out of the way now, so whenever it comes time, there's no hemming and hawing and waiting around. So undergarments and kilts. Everyone knows that a quote-unquote traditional Scotsman goes regimental. And it gets the name regimental from the Scottish regiments, because they would wear nothing. Okay, volume 1. Good guys. Thanks, guys. So, there's a lot of reasons why it's good to go regimental. For anybody who has been hiking at length, done any significant athletic activities, your undergarments get funky really quick. And in the early wars, World War I, all the wars before that, you've all heard of trench foot. Well, imagine trench crotch. No good. So, regimental, it actually helps air things out, keep things clean. Not exactly the most protective way to go about doing things, but most guys know how to keep their bits and pieces away from sticks, just kind of as a natural thing. So, it outweighs the benefits outweigh the risks. We've got some throat lozenges in my mouth. My throat's giving me a little crap, so my tongue's a little twisted today. Those Fisherman's Friend throat lozenges that I love so much. Those things, awesome. So now let's talk about modern times. As you can see, I don't have a sporran on because I don't know of any Highland athletes that wear a sporran while they compete. So while we're talking about the rules of undergarments, theoretically, there are no rules. You can go commando or not as you see fit, whenever and wherever you please. Now, we start looking at specific events or locations, that changes. As far as I know, in order to participate in Highland Games, you must have something on under your kilt. If you've ever been to a Scottish Games or a Highland Games, Highland Athletics, the odds of your kilt flying up is almost 100%, especially if you're doing the hammer throw, or what was the other one? Maybe the sheaf toss. Those things, your kilt is going to fly up, and that's when it's awesome weather. When it's really bad weather, especially if it's windy, forget about it. You're Marilyn Monroe the whole day. So you have to have undergarments on for all Scottish Games, Highland, whatever you want to call them. Got to have something on if you're an athlete. If you are actively participating and trying to win, got to have something on underneath. That's the only one that I know 100% that you have to have undergarments on. Now, it is a very strong suggestion that if you are around children, like at schools or whatnot, or if you live in a more delicate geographic location where stuff like that people would get cranky about, even just the thought of, oh my God, I might pretend to almost see something under there, which truthfully is very difficult to do because I don't have a flashlight under my kilt, and I don't have mirrored shoes. So unless you're down there with a halogen light, the odds of you seeing anything at all, pretty low. So anybody who says, oh, I think I saw something, usually it's just BS. If they did, well, congrats to you, man. You were born a little better off than most. or they're just full of BS, like I said. So again, kids, anything related to climbing or hiking, you can do it regimental if you like, but I've tried it and I definitely prefer like an Under Armour type of garment. I haven't figured out the why yet. I'm just more comfortable that way. Going up anything, hills, ladders, if you're using climbing anything high, doesn't matter what it is. Zip lines, absolutely want to wear something on a zip line. I will tell you that for a fact. Would have been really interesting if I hadn't when that zip line did happen a couple of years ago. Cool thing was I almost made about $20, but I refused to go down the zip line a second time. Bull riding, definitely. Anything where you're going fast, boats, and that's fast on purpose with mixed, delicate, or sensitive company. If you're out shenaniganizing, hey, go for it. Do what you want. That's about it. I guess the only other place would be if you're going out after hours and there is a high probability of somebody being a pain in the ass and trying to grab up your kilt. I tend to lean on the side of caution because, truth be told, you don't know what they're going to do. They're going to grab you, they're going to do something silly, or they're going to do something mean. And that's generally an area that I don't want anybody messing with in the first place. So, a little bit of protection never hurt. Those are the big things that, suggestions. Mostly, if you're going to be around large amounts of children, going to a school event, scouting, stuff like that. Unless, of course, you're in Scotland, that's different. People, the folks in Scotland who actually wear kilts on a regular basis, they actually understand all this all the time, so it's not that big a deal. Some folks up in Canada, Nova Scotia area, other areas where there's a significant Scottish presence, that's different. But for the average folks, always err on the side of caution, because regardless of what they may claim, even the thought of getting in trouble for public indecency kind of sucks. And you might win, you never know. But it's just I try to avoid that at all costs. So there you go. Them's the rules. Scottish festivals, Scottish games. When you're a participating athlete, it's the only one I can nail down for certain. Everything else, it's kind of up in the air. It's up to you how you want to live. Bunch of suggestions on things you might want to think about, but like I said, it's your gear. You do with it as you wish. And we'll get to kiltology here in a sec. Oh, I didn't see that mark. Yes, small dogs with cold noses. Those are bad. Yeah, common decency. More of self-preservation, actually, Doug. The more I think about it, it's, I know how I want to live and how I'd prefer to be, but, standing out that far just opens yourself up to some problems. And me, I'm not one for public problems, so try to avoid those at all costs. I mean, I get enough attention as it is. So here we go, Kiltology, Volume 1. Again, pick it up on Amazon if you don't have it yet. Speaking of drawing attention to yourself, no idea where this one came from. I was probably watching a movie. Actually, I think I was watching Clerks. Is it Clerks? No. Mallrats. I was watching Mallrats. That's where this one came from. Contrary to popular belief, it's Kiltology number 142. Contrary to popular belief, if you stare at a kilt long enough, you will not, and I repeat, not, see a sailboat or some other hidden image in the tartan. There have been occasions where lasses staring at a kilt have seen something they didn't expect, but that is an entirely different discussion altogether. So, tartan. What you see is what you get. If any of you have heard of a tartan or a kilt design where it does have those cool 3D patterns like hidden in the weave, I'd love to see it, but I've never seen one. So, Everyday KT number 55. Them's the rules. You know, again, competing Scottish athletes, Highland Games. That's when you want to wear the underwear. I'd suggest an Under Armour style undergarment of some sort. Male, female, they all make the same kind of stuff. So anything like that, that's what I would suggest. Yeah, dude, I have seen the ones with pictures, Carl, but, you know, I like my tartan kilts. So until tomorrow, here's to you. Be strong. Put a kilt on.